Hey everybody, I'm Kirti Sharma and welcome back to my channel. So this is a really impromptu video because I just want to quickly talk about this book that I just finished reading. It's called This Time Next Year by Sophie Cousens. This was a pick or the first pick of 2021 for this book club that I'm a part of in the community I live in, Potomac Shores. And I'm really glad actually that I decided to read this book because it's so different than the things I have been reading. Like I just finished two memoirs from the Obamas, and I've been reading the Saxon series, which the show The Last Kingdom is based from. And those books are written by Bernard Cornwell. So yeah, those are the kind of books that I've been reading, and this was a well-needed departure from them. If I was to quickly describe this book, it would literally be like a beach read, you know? If I was out there beside the pool or sitting at the beach, with a book in my hand, this would be it. Why? Because it's fun, it's easy to read, it's not complicated, you don't have to invest a lot of energy in finishing this book. It's a really quick read. I read it in a couple hours over the weekend. And, it's a nice, fun book to read. As you can tell from like the cover, it's fun and whimsical. It's about two characters, Maggie Cooper, or not Maggie Cooper, sorry, Minnie Cooper, and Quinn Hamilton. They're both born on New Year's Day, and this book basically talks about how their paths have crossed over the years without them even knowing it, and what happens when they meet in the present, which is the year 2020. One of the points that I wanted to make about this book is that a lot of it does take place in 2020. But this is in a world that does not have the pandemic going on in it. And I didn't even make that connection while I read it, as they were going through the year, she was meeting with people, they were working, they weren't wearing a mask, there's no mention of a pandemic. And that's really crazy because, that's the world that we're living in right now. So our 2020 is very different than the 2020 in this book. But it was an escape, it was good to just be able to read and put everything else behind you. One of the things that I really liked about this book is the fact that it was written in a way that I hadn't come across yet. And what I mean by that is the fact that a lot of the book takes place on New Year's Eve throughout the years, which is really different, a means of like breaking up the story. I also like that sometimes it's switched from one character's point of view to the other, but mainly we do follow Minnie Cooper's life and her thoughts and feelings. I like the dose of the change that came, about her from the beginning to the end of the book. She became more confident in herself. She realized that, she needs to like who she is and be comfortable with who she is as a person, and then the rest will follow suit, whether that's in her personal life or professional life. So that was good to see. As a psychologist, I really like how they mentioned and they talked about therapy in this book. You don't really see that. And I guess you would classify this as like a rom-com, if this was a movie, it would definitely be in the rom-com genre. And in rom-coms, they don't really talk about therapy and how important it can be, whether it's, for yourself or for you as a couple. And in this book kind of, talks about that, especially from the male protagonist's perspective. Usually it's like the female that goes and gets help because she needs it. But here we have like, the male character, and he's talking about how important therapy was for him. So I think that's really great. The fact that it's really important that in today's day and age that we really decrease the stigma that's associated with, mental health, because there shouldn't be one. If you have high blood pressure or like, you require stitches, what are you going to do? You're going to go to the doctor and you're going to get the help you need. It's the same thing with mental health. If emotionally you feel overwhelmed, you're not at a good place, then what's the harm in going and getting help for it? So I think that's really good. I also liked, how they juxtaposed like a rich family, which is Quinn Hamilton's family with Minnie Cooper's family, who is a working class family, and just how their lives are different. But I really liked how, for the most part, we just think if you have money, you're happy. And, you realize that money isn't everything, but everything happens behind closed doors. So you're not privy to that. You have no idea what's going on, behind that money, behind that class. People are people. They're going to have the struggles, they're going to have the emotional upheavals. And it's really nice to see that this book tackled that. So yeah, I think those are some of the points I wanted to make in this book. The book has a lot of like quirky characters, which is nice to see. So yeah, I mean, it's an easy read if you have like a weekend, if you have free time on your hands. Definitely, I think you should give it a pick. I'm glad that I got to read this book. I wouldn't have picked it out if it wasn't for the book club that I'm a part of. And I think it's a really good way to start off this year. It's light, it's refreshing. Like I said, if this was a movie genre, it would definitely be a rom com. And who doesn't like a nice rom com? And you could probably, I know, as you're reading this, start thinking of a few actors and actresses that could play the characters in this novel. So who knows? Maybe this will get picked up, and maybe this will become, like a movie or a show or something like that, because it definitely has the potential to be. So anyways, that was it. Like I said, it's an impromptu video. I just finished reading this and I thought it was a good read and I wanted to put it out there. So let me know, have you read this book, or what else are you guys reading right now? Like I said, I am a big bookworm. I love books, so I never tire of reading any books. So if you have any recommendations for me, let me know. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye!